Dress like that.
Whenever you're ready, Mayor.
Okay. All right, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call of the council, please.
Smith,
Here.
Anderson, absent, Arcano.
Here.
Burbank. Here. Ferguson. Here. Bender.
Here.
Green.
Here.
Motion to excuse Councilmember Anderson.
Second.
Oh, I can't make the
Oh.
motion to.
Motion to excuse Councilmember Anderson.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carries.
All right, I have.
Oh, Mackenzie's on Zoom. Never
Okay.
mind.
Perfect. Okay. And I believe Courtney's on Zoom as well this evening, or will be.
Yeah.
Okay, we have an appointment, I'd like to appoint Nancy Moriarty.
Approve the agenda.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carries.
Okay. I'd like to appoint Nancy Moriarty to a 3-year term limit on the Senior Citizen Advisory Commission.
Move to approve Nancy Moriarty to a 3-year term on the Senior Citizen Advisory Commission.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carries. We did have one person signed up, Steve
Okay.
Harris.
Steve, would you like to, public comment section. Steve, please come on up if you'd like.
So I caught a neighbor dumping his excess pea gravel into the North Sergeant Street ditch. And I told my son about it, who's on the planning commission, and he said that could lead to a $1,500 fine. Well, the guy was new, he probably didn't know that. So anyway, my wife doesn't want me confronting people anymore. Because I have threatened a few. But anyway, I've seen the way that the city handles it. They don't confront people either. They just send the county sheriff out and he shuts them down or whatever the city tells them they need to do penalty wise. So at issue here, there's probably about 20 units going up on my eastern boundary. So we have had problems with that Sergeant Street ditch handling what we already have. So there's a potential for flooding. And there's also the fact that they have to put up a privacy fence. It's going to be hard to maintain things now. So when Mr. Hosford finishes constructing those units, he's going to move on. So that leaves the city responsible for those swales. So those runoffs, I've seen all kinds of things happen. People dump pea gravel, it goes downstream and causes problems for us. It's my barn. This is looking from my barn at the back of my house. This is what it looks like in my yard. So I am requesting that people put that the council hopefully agrees to put some kind of signage up so people understand what happens. I mean, some of the worst things I've seen are just underestimating what happens at the clean outs and catch basins that they use to clean the pipes that get filled up. Water perks up through that. And the whole northwestern part of my boundary can stay underwater for weeks at a time. So I also had last year I dropped a tort claim against the city because I'm usually out of thousands when things like that happen. And I dropped it because I was really appreciative of what Mr. Hosford did to reinstate the swale system. And also, I was appreciative of what Dansby's crew does to maintain that Sergeant Street ditch, because it's getting harder and harder for me to do it with my weed and brush cutter. I mean, I gotta climb down in the ditch to turn it around and then pull myself back up. It's very awkward, dangerous. And so basically, I'm gonna leave these pictures and hard copies for anyone. I mistakenly sent the text to everyone about 2 weeks ago before I realized there's 5 Tuesdays in the month of July. So anyway, I think I would like people to also review the stipulated order of settlement that that I got. It was signed by the Shanks, the Harrises, and Mayor Blanusa as the representative for the city of Buckley. And, you know, after the lawsuit, the Harrises and Blanusa got along very well. He kept his word and he fixed those swales. You know, because when he said, give me 2 years, I didn't know what to expect, but we really got along good after that. Thank you very much. The hard copies will be left with the city clerk, and these pictures to give you an idea of what we're going through. That would include the McPhails, the Harrises, and Van Sickle. We catch it downstream. Thank you.
Yep, thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to everyone here. Thank you.
See how much, just so if anybody else wants to speak, how many was it? All right. Anybody else like to speak this evening? Okay. We'll have, of course, an opportunity at the end again. I guess we'll move on to admin, finance, and public safety. Councilmember Smith.
I did not prepare minutes because the meeting was very brief and every department that was represented gave an overview of what's coming forward to the next study session. And as far as the budgetary process and other items, so there wasn't anything to waste forest products on tonight. It was very brief. And that was it.
Okay. Planning Commission.
I won't be done for the
You weren't there, okay. All right, we'll move into the consent agenda.
On tonight's consent agenda is approval of the minutes of the February 4th City Council study session, the March 4th City Council study session, March 25th City Council meeting, April 8th City Council meeting, April 22nd City Council meeting, and claims and payroll.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carries.
And into the regular agenda.
First item on the regular agenda is ordinance number 04-25, amending the 2025-2026 City of Buckley biennial budget.
Move to approve ordinance 04-25, amending the 2025-2026 City of Buckley biennial budget.
Second.
Okay, and Director Hines is here for questions and discussion.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Yes, before you is our first adjustments for the 25-26 budget. As you remember, when we had an annual budget, we would do them kind of mid-year and then we would do them at year end. Keeping with that, wanted to still provide, even though we're on a 2-year budget, still somewhat of a mid-year budget adjustment this year, especially because in this adjustment, we always adjust the beginning resources forward fund balance numbers. And so wanted to be able to do that prior to waiting to the mid biennial adjustment. As part of doing a biennial budget, we are required to do a mid biennial update, and that will take place this fall. It will be kind of like a little mini budget process. Instead of a full one, the departments will still do some year-end estimates. They'll still look into next year to see if there's changes that need to be made. And so that will kind of be in place of the what would normally have been the year-end adjustments. We'll do a mid-biennial adjustment. So this adjustment today does recognize the beginning fund balances and adjusts those. We always have an estimate going into the year because we base it on expected revenues and expenditures from the prior year. And then once we see how the year actually ends, we adjust those up or down as needed. It also recognizes several grants that we've received since the budget was approved and the expenditures that go along with those. And then make some adjustments to expenditures that have exceeded budget or plan to exceed budget based on happenings. Some of our legal services, our fire and EMS overtime, and then some other housekeeping adjustments, updating some of the salary and benefit line items. Some of those were also estimated in the fall when we were in contract negotiations with the 302 local. And so now that we have a better idea of what those were, we made some adjustments to right size the medical and salaries for those. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Anybody, any questions, comments, concerns? Anything, Mackenzie? Just checking. Okay,
Okay,
thank you, Sandy.
thanks.
All right, this will be a roll call vote.
Smith,
Aye.
Arsono,
Yes.
Burbank,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Bender,
Yes.
Green,
Aye.
Anderson.
yes,
Motion carries. Next item is ordinance number 05-25, adopting the comprehensive plan amendment.
Move to,
Very good.
move to approve ordinance number 05-25, adopting comprehensive plan amendment ordinance.
Second.
Okay, and Senior Planner Farnsworth, Chris is here for presentation and answers to any questions you have.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. I just have a brief presentation for you guys, kind of going over some of the changes that we've been working on since the last time I did this presentation. So it is very similar to the one that you guys saw last time. It just has some additional items that we've been working on, and we think we're in a position to now move forward with adoption. So I don't know how much you guys want me to rehash the initial items, but there is a numbered list showing the proposed changes. And now the first 4 were what we had discussed at the last meeting. So if you guys want to revisit those or just move on to the new ones.
Have a preference, probably hit the new ones.
Hit the new
Unless-
ones.
Unless anybody has any questions, okay.
Okay.
Hit the new ones and then we can go through it.
Chris, will you pull the microphone up just a little? Thank you.
Of course. So one of the items we've been working on are several land use designation changes. So there are some parcels along Mundy Lost on the western boundary of the city that were originally going to be our commercial flex, which is kind of our commercial / light industrial land use designation. At the public hearing, we received a comment from a developer about changing those to multifamily residential. The developer had submitted a project, so his project was vested on about 3 out of 4 of these parcels. So we figured after evaluating it, bringing it up with the planning commission, that it did make sense to designate those parcels, the urban high density for some of the multifamily duplex, triplex. It's easily accessible from Mundy Loss, and we just figured that that would be a good idea. And so to accommodate that, we actually swapped two parcels on the southern side of 112th from the urban high density to the commercial designation. So whenever we look at doing some of these land use designation changes, especially when it comes to residential due to our growth capacity from the county and the state, we want to make sure that doesn't have to be a one-to-one swap, but we do want it to be close. And so we do feel like we have that with this particular swap. The other land use designation change that we were looking at were three parcels on the southern side of Hinkleman Road. They were originally slated to be a large townhome development. The developer has come to us and indicated that they would prefer it to be a single-family residential development.
Okay, and what's the square footage, is it R8?
So it'll actually be R6. And so what they're looking at doing is a residential cluster, which allows for some smaller lot sizes. But in exchange, there are open space requirements and some things like that.
Okay. And that's what we've got.
Yep.
Copy, okay, all right.
And if it would be helpful, I can point out exactly which ones have been changed.
Okay.
Yes, please.
If he shows us up here, maybe we can circle it or mark it on your maps, however you like.
So it's these parcels along Monday Lost right here, and then these parcels along Hinkleman.
So the four in the light yellow.
Yep, and so see how these are darker yellow and how these are more of that tannish color, those are the ones that have been changed.
Okay. So the light yellow and the dark yellow, basically. Okay. And the developer owns both.
It is the same developer for both projects.
Okay, oh, Ron.
No, my
Oh,
colleague had her hand.
Denise, go ahead.
So all of from where the blue one is on Hinkleman,
Yeah,
Over.
the little blue slice there.
all of that,
Yep, and then those ones right there.
okay, but we would still have enough in the high density by changing those from high density to.
Yeah, so even if we change those from the urban high density to urban low density, we will still hit our targets provided to us by the state and the county.
Ron.
It seems like this amendment from where I sit is acquiescing to a developer. And I understand that we're gonna change other ones on the south side of Monday Lost to something else. But I don't think this council should get in the business of acquiescing to a developer that already has obtained the property and wants to do something more with the property than can currently be done. We have beat this comp plan to death and finally got language we could deal with some language that the Department of Commerce wanted. I don't think we need to be in the business of acquiescing at the 11th hour to one specific developer. So I'm a hard no on this.
Amanda.
I'm not comfortable changing things just because a developer wants us to either. So I'm in the same boat as Councilmember Smith.
Okay. And just for clarification, Chris, the light blue, or sorry, not blue, the light yellow on the north end of that kick out, that they're wanting to decrease the density, correct?
Essentially, yes.
Yeah, so they're not wanting to increase it, but in trade for this other dark yellow.
Well, so the ones on Monday Lost, that was actually brought up at the public hearing that we did back in June. And these other parcels were brought up more recently. So the changes weren't requested at the same time.
Okay. I know we've had Brandon, please.
Sorry, I'm just a little confused. Okay, so we got this comment here from Mr. Hosberg. And it has these three parcels that are listed here that he wants to go from urban high density to urban low density. And those are which ones are those on the map? Sorry,
No, that's all right.
Those are these ones right here.
those are these ones, okay,
Those were the ones requested at the public hearing,
and they wanted, the public hearing, they wanted these ones to be,
the urban high
they
density.
want it to be urban high density, okay, and he wants these to be low. Okay, I see.
And
So isn't it colored where it's high density now? Don't we
yeah,
want
but
to,
the changes have been reflected on the map.
okay,
Yeah, and
Per the public hearing.
yeah, for the public hearing. And so part of the consideration for the Monday lost parcels is that they've already submitted that project, so it is vested. So even if we don't move forward with the designation change, they can still proceed with the project as it was submitted.
And that was what was submitted on.
And that was the triplexes.
Yeah, it was several duplexes and some triplexes and a remaining single family residence.
Okay, Kenny?
But if that project didn't go through and then they had to resubmit, then they couldn't resubmit again for that, right?
As long as it's similar to the original submittal, you know, responding to planning and engineering comments, it's my understanding that it can continue to move forward.
So just for a layman's overview, they were gonna build some duplexes and triplexes, and now they want to build single family homes in that same block of 4 parcels.
So for Monday Loss, it's the duplexes and the triplexes, and then so for the ones on the southern side of Hinkleman, those are the ones that are going from townhomes to single family residential.
Okay. Okay, so they want to do part of it.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so that would be and they can do that with or without whether we change the zoning.
For the Monday Loss parcels, yes.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so anybody else? Questions? Denise?
but not the Hinkleman.
No, the Hinkleman is already vested as a townhome project. So that's gone through the entire review process, including the hearing examiner.
So basically, they've already got the okay to do it the way it is right here.
Yeah, with the townhome project, but if they wanted to do the single family in the way that they are presenting it, then they would have to have the designation change.
So they're looking for a designation change, not to decrease density, but to decrease density, basically build homes on part of that versus all townhomes. So,
Personally, I think that by doing that, if we still have enough to cover the high density that the county wants us to have, it'll mean less apartment buildings and so on and so forth. So I would be okay with that.
okay. Ron?
Mr. Farnsworth has stated accurately and professionally that all of this stuff's gone through the entire process. It's vested. Some of it's gone through the hearing examiner. The developer had plans, it's been approved, and now 2-minute warning in the 4th quarter of the game. They want to change things. And I do not believe that this council or this city needs to acquiesce to a single developer to the benefit of that person. I appreciate they went through the whole entire process. And it's gone through and here we are. So you just live with what you asked for and let it be.
Okay. Amanda?
Question, so once our comp plan is approved, everything's done. If there's another, let's say, developer that decides they want to do something different than what it's zoned for, can they come to the council and ask us to change the zoning as well?
So after this amendment goes through, if it's adopted, we actually cannot open the comp plan for another amendment until 2026.
But then after that, could a developer?
Yes.
Okay, and then we'd be back, like, I'm just giving like devil's advocate, if we change it for one developer in a couple years. What? Yes, that's where I stand on. If you do for one, then you should do for anybody who comes and asks for a change. I don't know, so that's if you want to do that or not.
Okay. Connie?
Okay. Well, my comment on this is they knew what they were buying. They knew what they wanted. They know what was allowed. And now to come in and say, hey, I want to change this. That's not the way you do it. It's like you go out and buy a house. well, you know, I bought it, but now I wanted this change, so, no, I mean, they knew what they were getting into. And now to come before the city to say, hey, I want this changed, take it a vote. You bought it, you got it.
I guess I'm just looking at it as our infrastructure and the number of units that a high rise or that a high density, urban high density can have. We're looking at if we keep it this way, then we're looking at more and more cars, more and more people. If we changed it to low density, where it can be single family dwellings, then we're looking at less traffic.
Not necessarily.
And I'm thinking that it's better to, if we're gonna make any changes, to do it now before we've adopted it. And
we can also, we could table this for a better explanation. Not that you're not doing a great job, it's just
Yeah.
yeah, correct. The two generally I'll just throw this out there. In the past, when I was on council and have been mayor, when a developer approached the city and wanted to increase density, as in go from an 8,000 square foot lots to 6,000, we were like, we've done it. And that gets into this picking and choosing, and that gets dicey. But if someone wants to go the other way and decrease density, then that seems, it's not exactly the same argument, is all I'm saying. So we don't have to decide tonight. We can, if we want to dig into this, the two separate entities, the two separate groups of parcels makes it a little confusing. So, Brandon.
Yeah, I for one, like totally understand the argument of not opening the Pandora's box of, you know, bowing to a developer, but I also understand, you know, we didn't really want a lot of high density. And this is kind of an off ramp at the last minute, but I do think it warrants more conversation because it's a big decision that we're just getting right now. Like, this is the first time I've seen this. So I'd love to just take this to a study session, even if it's just for 15 minutes and dig into it, and we can litigate it there. But that's
Okay.
my stance, my position.
Denise.
when do we have to have our comp plan approved
It's already been done.
and to the,
Well, so the comp plan was originally adopted in December of 24.
right?
There were some procedural issues with the Department of Commerce, and so just to be above board, we decided to open it up for an amendment and make some of the requested changes. The problem is once you open this up for an amendment, anything is fair game. Any piece of the comp plan can be scrutinized and changed.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Ron.
We have a motion and a second, and we're in discussion. I think we should vote tonight on this. I don't think it needs any further studying at all. We've approved the comp plan. I agree with my colleague. They bought what they bought, and they knew what time it was. And to try to come and change stuff right now, and there's another angle that I'm not even gonna go publicly with on this. Let's just get it over with and vote on it.
Okay, yeah, if we're not gonna retract the motion and so on and so forth, so we can vote, and if we vote yay, that would be,
We're done.
then we're done, that would be approving this, correct? And a no vote means we're not doing it and it can be re-explored.
We could bring it back a different night.
Okay, so. Is that clear for everybody? Clear as mud?
So wait, yay would be move forward, no vote would be to.
A yay is to approve this change, correct?
Yeah, and I do have several other items for discussion.
Oh, right.
There's more.
This is just the first change. Okay. All right. So we got that one. You want to hit the rest of them?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the big items that Commerce requested was changed was having our proposed UGA in the comp plan. For one reason or another, the Department of Commerce and Pierce County, they're not big fans of us having this UGA in our comp plan. But we thought it was still important to acknowledge that there is a UGA that we are interested in. And once we can meet their criteria, it kind of gives us a little bit of a head start to include this piece in our plan. even if we've changed the name from proposed planning area and kind of softened some of the language, it still indicates that we are thinking about this, and it will continue to be on our minds as we kind of work through this comp plan cycle the next 10 years.
Okay. Any questions, concerns about that? I think we all know we've been pushing, and for lack of a better term, for a UGA, whatever that's gonna look like. Ron?
Question, procedural question. We discussed the prior item. This is another item that I don't think there's any quarrel over. I heard the kind gentleman say that we've opened it up and anything's fair game. This amended plan, if it was voted down tonight, would eliminate this as well. Does it all have to be in here?
I do need clarification on that specific issue. I believe that you can approve some parts and dismiss the others. But I would need clarification on that. I'm not sure if Administrator Brunel is on Zoom or if she has any thoughts about that particular aspect.
Yes, I'm here. The short answer is yes, you can absolutely choose to accept some amendments, and you can refer to those as those presented previously in the packet and versus those that were presented this evening. I believe that would identify just the singular amendment off of Hinkleman. The rest were all included in your packet materials for this evening, or you could refer to them by number, but you could absolutely choose to move forward with some and not all. I do want to add, however, that it is very common for developers to initiate amendments. That's actually the way that it most frequently happens. So cities initiate amendments when we're required to in our periodic updates or if something big changes. But aside from that, on an annual basis or every other year, it is very common for cities to open up their comprehensive plan for private initiated amendments. And typically, yes, the council does review and the staff also has to review to make sure that it complies with the rest of the plan. But it is not uncommon for council to choose to review and then move forward with amendments at a developer's request. So I wanted to add that, but to answer your question, Councilmember Smith, yes, you absolutely can choose to adopt some tonight and not all. If you do take that route, we cannot adopt the others until 2026. So we can only adopt our comprehensive plan once per year, and this would be that 2025 amendment. So if there's uncertainty, we could move this to the following council meeting with some revised motions, or if you feel confident tonight in a direction and a motion that you want to move forward with, those would be your options. List them by number, or you could refer to it by items included in the packet and items not included in the packet.
Thank you.
Okay, and that was the land use was item 5? Is
Yes.
that correct? Okay.
Yep.
Keep this straight. Okay, and now we're on number 6, as Ron, I think, correctly stated. I know there's no quarrel over this. All right. Any questions, comments on number 6? Okay, want to hit 7?
Yep. So another one of the bigger items that we got from the Washington State Department of Transportation is they wanted a little bit more of a narrative regarding our transportation element. And so what we've gone through and done is kind of enhanced it. And we added a bit about various traffic studies conducted by WASDOT and PSRC. And so it's just a more complete narrative of the transportation element. And that's just about it for that one.
Okay, any questions, comments, concerns for transportation? Did you guys address public transportation? Or lack thereof?
Lack thereof.
Okay, all right, just want to make sure. Okay.
All right, and there's just one more.
Yep, number 8.
So one of the things we had our consultant do was kind of add an analysis methodology for our land use numbers. And so this was not in the previous plan, but this kind of just gives a brief explanation before getting into the table of numbers that can make you a little cross-eyed.
Okay. All right, anybody have any questions on number 8? Concerns? Okay. And that's all of the changes. You want to go back and just hit the 1 through 4, just real quick. Those are ones we did not make changes to, just so we can see them real quick. I know we have them in the packet too, but.
So the first one was just reducing and mitigating wildfire risk. That's the same as you guys saw it at the last time it was presented.
Okay.
Identifying areas that have a high risk of residential displacement. We really have only one place, the mobile home park over by the sewer treatment plant.
Okay.
Number 3, this is just a little bit more of an elaboration on that point. And then 3 was the accommodating growth for emergency housing, which we have shown that we can accommodate. The next step for that particular aspect is updating the municipal code, which we're currently in the process of doing.
Okay.
And then the 4th one was the including a direct reference to the racially disparate impact report. At the direction of council, we did soften that language, and we think that this is still in compliance while also reflecting council's feelings about it.
Okay. All right, anybody want to, if you've had a chance to look at that, you got any questions on 1 through 4 at all? Okay, Ron?
I just want clarification. So I have no issue with what was just presented at all. We have this separate issue about the rezoning of stuff. How is this going to be couched? It's a roll call vote. How is this going to be couched as a package? That's what I'm unclear of, because we shifted gears real quick.
Yep, no, I was gonna ask for that as well, so. One option, we'll call it option 1 since we don't have it on here, 5 through 8. Option 1 will be to rescind the motion, this and the second, and back out of it and look at this through in a study session. And Administrator Brunel, you can tell us what option 2 would be.
Yes, you can, Treva, go ahead.
I was gonna say, or Amanda's welcome to amend her motion to change it to only those sections that were included in the packet and not the one that was brought forward this evening. And then we could vote on the amendment and then vote on the original motion as amended.
Okay, but
Yeah.
so all the options minus 5.
Mhm.
Okay, if you want to do that, that's another option.
The other option, because this is on the regular agenda, we do need to continue it via motion to a date specific. So I would say that date specific would be either August 26th or our next study session would be September 2nd. So just in your rescinding, we do need to share what the date specific will be that we will be revisiting this topic.
Okay. That's if we rescind the motion completely and not amend it. Okay. Okay, what's your pleasure? You can think about it. You don't have to snap judgment. Think about it for a second, a couple minutes.
Yeah, or we can just vote on the original too.
Yeah, we can vote.
I need to.
No, you can just
Or
amend your
amend.
motion. You
Okay,
can
so I will amend my motion to include only what was included in our packet tonight. Except,
So options 1 through 8, not including option 5.
Yes.
Which we just got in front of us this evening.
yes, so all of the options except item 5 that we just received this evening.
And then you need a second.
Councilmember Green, yeah, anybody can second her amendment.
Second,
Okay. All right. Is everybody satisfied? You want to vote?
So we're voting on the amendment first. And then we will vote on the original motion as amended if the amendment passes.
What?
Yeah.
So right now you have an amended motion on the table. Should that pass, then we will go back and vote on the original motion as amended because you voted to amend it.
Correct. So the first vote will be to accept the amended
Okay.
Yes,
motion.
and then the second one would be the original with the amendment.
So if you're in favor of Amanda's
Amendment.
retraction amendment,
Good amendment.
amendment, state aye.
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 Aye. That was a roll call.
Motion, well, on the amendment, it's.
On the amendment,
Motion
okay.
carries on the amendment.
Got it.
So now it will be a roll call vote on the original motion with this amendment in it.
Okay. Perfect.
We
Roll
ready?
call vote.
Are we ready for the vote?
Yes.
Okay, Smith,
Aye.
Anderson,
Yes.
Arsano,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Bender,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Burbank.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay.
Thank you, Chris. I think we've got something else from you.
In just a
coming
few
up.
minutes.
All right.
Next item on the agenda is ordinance number 06 25, amending the 2025 city employee salary scale.
Move to approve ordinance number 06 25, amending the 2025 city employee salary scale.
Second.
Okay. Director Hines is here again.
Hello. So this is a singular amendment to the adopted salary scale that council did in December of 4/25. And it is really just amending the hourly salary scale for our part-time firefighters. So our volunteer firefighters that cover actual paid firefighter shifts. And so not their stipend hours where they get points for training and those things, but this is when they actually cover for the career full-time firefighters and they work a shift. The wage had not been included on the original salary scale. We had the wildland firefighter, but we did not have the part-time. We had been using the wildland firefighter in lieu of, and have had some clarification from our legal counsel that the rate that we had been using was a little higher than what is allowed. So not only are we putting it on the salary scale, we're putting it on at the $22 an hour versus what the wildland firefighter was, which was 35. So per our legal counsel, that is where we're at as far as what the rate needs to be. And we wanted to make sure we adopted it onto the employee salary scale.
All right. Anybody questions, comments about that? Okay. Thanks, Andy. And this will also be a roll call vote.
Smith,
Aye.
Arsano,
Yeah.
Burbank,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Bender,
Yes.
Green,
Aye.
Arsano, or Anderson, sorry.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the adoption of the new City of Buckley logo.
Move to approve the adoption and moderate phase implementation of the new city logo.
Second.
Discussion? It's another horse we've abused. Okay. No questions, concerns? Okay. This is not a roll call vote. Okay. Oh, Ron,
Just a comment. This is a moderate change. It is going to be a phased in thing. And finally, anybody who thinks that the sun is ever directly above Mount Rainier is living in a dystopian world. It cleans it up, takes it off. Phased in, it's not a big chunk of money right out of the pocket. Phased in, new look, new building, 21st century, let's go.
Okay. Anybody else? All right.
Not a roll call.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
No.
2 noes.
Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a client services contract with DSHS for campus patrol and security at Rainier State School.
Move to approve the client services agreement with DSHS for campus patrol and security at Rainier State School.
Second.
Hello. The current contract expires on the 31st of this month, and so this would be another 2-year contract for Rainier School, and pretty much no changes to it. So.
Okay. Any questions, comments, concerns? Son comments? Okay. All right, thanks, Kurt.
Yeah.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Motion carries. Next item is the granting of Blueberry Farms Trail easement, relinquishment of public pedestrian access easement, and granting of private trail easement to DR Horton for a pedestrian trail across Spiketon Ditch.
Somebody wants-
Move to authorize the mayor to sign the document to relinquish the existing easement and grant a new easement for a pedestrian trail across Spiketon Ditch.
Second.
Okay, and Dom's here for what have you, let's say
So when the Blueberry Farms final plat was recorded, the trail from Lambertus Street or Avenue across Spiketon Ditch, up a bunch of switchbacks to a bench was dedicated to the city. So the city on a staff level doesn't believe that the city wants to retain ownership and maintenance responsibilities for the trail. So, and DR Horton has requested that the easement that was granted to the city at the final plat be relinquished to them. And also recording a new easement across what is a storm tract that gets from Lambertus to Spiketon Ditch. So the improvements are going to be built, which is a crossing of the ditch, a little pedestrian bridge, and the trail up to the bench. So because this affects real property that is owned by the city in the form of the storm tract, and the easement was deeded to the city as part of the final plat. This comes to council for approval. It's not a staff level decision to deal with property that the city owns. It's your decision. So it is a document that if approved and signed gets recorded with the county at the expense of the developer, and it's not an expense to the city. And I believe Director Banks is on board and not wanting to maintain the.
Okay.
Areas. So he has lots of things to maintain rather than a private trail.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
So if we vote yes, we're responsible for maintaining this?
No.
No, if you vote
Opposite.
yes, you're not. They take.
If you vote yes, it transfers the responsibility from the city to DR Horton, now the HOA, moving forward. They're still technically the owners of the property, but the HOA, when it's formed, will retain ownership and maintenance responsibilities. And liability in case somebody, falls down.
Or when the bridge fails, so on and so
Right.
forth.
Or switchback number 8, someone trips, who knows?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, any other questions, comments? Okay, thanks, Dom. All right. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All.
Mayor and council, this is just informational at this time, just to update everybody that along with all of the other municipalities, fire districts, school districts, et cetera, we're required every 5 years to update our hazard mitigation plan. Proud to report that we had some accomplishments over the last 5 years. The planning process is now in full swing. The reason that we have to do this is in the event of any federal disaster that may be declared that impacts the city of Buckley, we have to have a current plan on file and receive financial assistance. Just wanted to update everybody and welcome any input as we continue to work through the process. You will see this before you again sometime during the fourth quarter this year. So I just want to provide a lot of projects you guys have that question about these projects. So all of these subdivision projects. Say about an individual project, you guys have questions about a specific